This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 36 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Woo!
That is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Lou. We need some.
I just stepped it up in the last second. I was like sleeping before the podcast.
We need some freaking excitement. Jeez, we're a week away from E3. Actually, I take that back. We're like 6 days away from E3 right now.
When you hear this, it'll be like 5 days.
Yeah, it'll be 5 days for you guys.
Or 4. I don't know when you listen to it. It could be past E3.
That would be okay. People looking back, like trying to see where we came from, when we're on like episode 5,000.
To check out our roots.
Yeah, and they're like, man, these guys have had 5,000 episodes of this podcast. We should go back to the first 36 and listen. And they get to this one, and they're like, damn, Lou stepped up his fucking game during that episode. That's when it happened. That is it.
My game was shitty before the episode, because I'm going to call you out on that.
No, you just stepped it up a whole nother level. It wasn't there before. Now it is. There's another level. You're there.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You're my boy, Lou. You're my boy. See what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
Boy Blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they call me Blue here.
Really?
That's my nickname with my friends.
Because you get blue balls a lot?
I wish. Wait,
what? No. That's a bad thing.
All right, let's move on.
So this week's episode is only going to be me and Lou. We don't have anybody else to join us for the actual podcast, but we are planning to have one of the other members of the team on our QTE for Friday QuickTime Event. For those of you who didn't check out the first episode, Lou, do you want to give them a little bit of background on it? Information?
Right. Yeah. So if you've been listening to the last podcast, because that's the last time we really mentioned it, QTE is our new podcast. It's called QuickTime Event, where we cover a topical story and we have it timed. We normally limit ourselves to 10, 15 something minutes, and we have to finish talking within that time, or too bad, we lose, topics over. And normally these topics, like last week, will be first impressions or big news stories for the weeks. If you want to check out last week's episode, it was first impressions of both Watch Dogs and Mario Kart 8, 7.5 minutes each. What is the next one going to be?
I believe it's going to be E3 predictions, or what do we expect at E3, something like that. We haven't really hammered it down. I know it's going to be E3 related in one way, shape, or another. I don't know.
E3 Palooza.
Actually, that'll be next week when we have like 1,000 of everything going up, which will be crazy.
E3 pre-Palooza.
But the basic structure of QuickTime Event, or the release schedule. How about that? The release schedule for QuickTime Event on most normal weeks will be every Monday and Friday. However, next week may be a little bit different. Because of E3, we may have a few more of them. We'll see how it goes. It depends on how many announcements happen, because we may have to have a QuickTime Event episode for each console. So we'll see. But yeah. So that's that. That's it. Any other thing worth mentioning would be our Watch Dogs review just went up today. So go and check that out. We have both the video review and the written review.
Which one's better? I want to know.
The review? Which review's better?
Yeah, which one? Video review or the written review? Which one are you more proud of?
I'm more proud of the video review because it takes longer to make.
All right, so watch both of them, but especially watch the video review. Watch it twice.
Okay, yeah, there you go. But I forgot to mention the online portion during the video review, so I felt kind of dumb after it, but I was up until like 2 a.m. working on it. So
it's only because you suck at the online portion.
Yeah, see, I went and added back into my written review about it, and I was just like, yeah, online sucks. No, I mean, I understand why some people like it. It's just I am not very good at it, so. But whatever. So let's move on. How about that? You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's step up our game. News from nowhere, Lou. News from nowhere.
So let's start off. Continuing the Watch Dogs news.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs has sold over 4 million copies in a week. In just its first week, Ubisoft announced that Watch Dogs has not only earned the title of best first week sales of an Ubisoft title, but also the best-selling new franchise launch. With Watch Dogs having sold over 4 million copies in just under a week, that's not hard to believe. Along with those accolades, the CTOS companion app for mobile devices has been downloaded more than 1 million times. Do you have that app, Courtney?
No, I don't. I'm not a gimmick person. That's a gimmick. So it's like, oh, you can use Kinect, or you could use the PlayStation Eye, or you could use. I'm like, no, nope. I just want the game. It's just like when I was playing the game. It's like, oh, you can have online people hack you while you're playing your game. I'm like, no. I want my game to be my game, because like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk about it now. The most frustrating part of the online part of it is that if somebody starts to hack you, somebody joins your game and starts to hack you while you're trying to start your next story mission, it will lock you out of starting that story mission. It'll be like, sorry, you can't do this. You're being hacked right now. And so you literally have to you have to finish the online part that's happening right there before you can actually continue the story. And so like I would get sidetracked, and I would go do some side questing and stuff for like an hour or so, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm ready to do the next story mission. And so I would drive all the way across town, get to the story mission, start it up or whatever, and be like, you can't do this actually right now. You're being hacked, so you need to go do this. I'm like, no, I was fucking ready for the story mission. I was like, why didn't this happen when I was doing the side quest? So pissed.
You live a tough life.
I do. But yeah, I didn't download the CTOS companion app. I don't even know what's on it. Like,
I know that it's like the ability. I saw that people had like iPads and the ability to like hack lights and stuff and like really fuck people over. And you know what? That's the exception to gimmicks. I will like gimmicks if I just get to screw people over for them. So I think I would really enjoy using it.
You're one of those people.
Yep, I just go on the internet to ruin other people's fun.
Well, I mean, like, I used to do the same thing with racing games or whatever. I'd go online, get into an online race, and then I would turn around and go backwards and try to wreck everyone. And be like, ha ha ha, you all suck! But I'm not that guy anymore.
That's why I like the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, is because it's all just about screwing people over. It's about just being a complete dick and hiding in the crowds and just ruining people's day.
Fair enough.
All right, so how about we move on?
I'm also not surprised that Watch Dogs sold 4 million.
I want to buy it.
And God, that's like what's their best-selling game is Assassin's Creed 4, which was like 13 million or something like that.
I thought it was Assassin's Creed 3.
It may have been,
because 3 burned a lot of people out on 4.
Yeah, so it may have been. I was gonna say 3, but I was like, it's got to be the newest one. Why not? But yeah, it's something like 13 million, and so like if it reaches 4 million for Watch Dogs in 1 week, I wonder how many it's gonna sell before the end of the year, like, or by the year, whenever they come up with their numbers. But yeah, so moving on. Forza Horizon 2 has officially been announced. Forza Horizon 2 is currently in development for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, and is set to be released this fall. Development is being handled by Playground Games, the developers of the original Forza Horizon. However, Turn10 Studios, who develops the Forza Motorsport series, is working closely with Playground Games. According to Playground Games, Forza Horizon 2 will feature hundreds of cars, including the 2015 Lamborghini. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Hurricane?
It looks like it should be said Hurricane. We're going to say Huracan.
Huracan. I think it's Hurricane.
It's going to be the Huracan now.
It's the Huracan. We'll go with it. The 2015 Lamborghini Huracan. Forza Horizon 2 will also have a weather system, which is the first time it's been in the series, and it will include the Drivatar system, which is also in Motorsport 5. I've heard nothing but good things about the Drivatar system.
Drivatard.
Yeah, I didn't write that, so
someone wrote that. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it sounds like a really good idea. I don't play racing games except if it's Mario Kart, but I would play it possibly. I mean, I would be willing to try the gimmick that is a Drivatar.
Yeah, I mean, see, I was listening to some old Podcast Unlocked episodes, and they were talking about how they liked Forza whenever it came out last year on Xbox One, but they didn't hook them for very long, you know. And then while they were playing other games throughout the rest of the year, people kept tweeting at them saying, hey, you know, your Drivatar wrecked me on the road or wrecked me on a race or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then that ended up convincing all those members to go back in and start playing again to train up their Drivatar. And I started wondering, I was like, what if this whole thing is such a gimmick? Like, what if it doesn't actually change anything about it, but it just makes you think that it's changing it to make you play it more? Be like, yeah, you're totally training them. Of course you are, huh? But we're actually just randomizing it, and it's just acting. It's just the CPU. I don't know.
I can see that.
I think that would be hilarious. I mean, I doubt that's really the case, but I thought that would be funny. But yeah, so the Forza games look beautiful. So this looks like a good game. I'm like you. I'm not a racing fan. Not in the typical racing type games like this. So I think
it's really interesting because racing games are more kind of physics engines than they are actual racing games. It's more just an ability to let developers showcase how beautiful they can make cars look compared to actually racing.
Yeah. Speaking of racing games and racing games that we are or aren't into, huh?
This is the best news all week for me. I got really happy when I saw this.
Oh, I did too.
Mario Kart 8 has sold over 1.2 million in its opening weekend. That is only up to as of Sunday. They tweeted it out Monday. Nintendo has confirmed that between May 29th, when the game was released in Japan, and June 1st, Mario Kart 8 has sold over 1.2 million units. This means that Mario Kart 8 is already the seventh best-selling Wii U game to date, just behind The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD at 1.22 million, which it probably has already surpassed.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably already smashed that number. Right. I'm willing to bet it's already at 1.5 or 1.7, like it's in that area.
Right. Like, do we know how many Wii U's have been sold? Wasn't it like something like 5 million or something?
I think it was in between 4 and 5 million, somewhere in there.
So just to wrap your heads around this is 1 out of every 4 people with a Wii U had went out this opening weekend and gotten a Mario Kart. 1 out of 4 people had remembered that they had a Wii U.
Yeah, and that's only for the first 2 or 3 days. Like,
yes.
Can you imagine giving it a rest of the month or a week or like, you know, the numbers of how high it's going to go? I'm wondering if it's going to just like totally taper off now. If like that's all the people who were really interested in it and they already got theirs. Or if now that first weekend's out, all those people brought it home to their families and everyone's like, holy crap, you know, this is really, really, really good. And if we're going to see it, you know, jump again in sales over the next week.
Well, you know, we also don't have this figure, and it's something not in the news, but
you cut
UK.
out. You cut
sorry.
out. Go ahead and start over.
Well, we don't have the figure in the news in our script that we have right here.
Yeah.
But I remember reading about it, that Mario Kart 8 boosted the UK Wii U hardware sales by 666%.
Yeah, almost 700%. God, I mean, you know, what was their sales? Something like 20 or 30,000 a week, something like that. And so that means it probably went up to 150, 200,000 that week or something like that. It's not a huge number in the grand scheme of things, but anything to jump up over 600, almost 700% is incredible.
Right.
That
any
is
small
victory.
victory.
Huge jump.
Right. Nintendo needs any victory they can get, and that's a great number they could bring back to investors.
Absolutely. Funny story. I just got a tweet from an old member of Middle of Nowhere Gaming, Jason. He tweeted, "I just saw the 40-year-old version of you at my job." And I said, I replied, "Elaborate?" ? He said, "Looked exactly like you, but was a quiet type, unlike you." I was like, yeah.
We should ask him for a picture.
Oh, yeah, he should have snapped one. Fucking hell. Okay, so yeah. Awesome news for the Wii U, and awesome news for Mario Kart. I'm actually about to go and buy Mario Kart 8 for my niece for her birthday.
Damn it!
So
Damn it! I thought you were about to say I'm about to go out and buy a Wii U.
No, God no.
Can't get my hopes up like that.
If I go buy a Wii U, I can't pay rent next month. So unless you can send some money my way, because I'm literally at the point where I can't pay rent. So this is not good.
So why are you going out and getting her Mario Kart 8?
Because she's like my favoriteest person in the world, and
you're gonna sit there and play it with her.
Yeah. Okay. And because I ended up getting $20 out of my brother and $20 out of my mom to help me pay for it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use a $20 card. I'm gonna use my GameStop points on. It's the only way I can get it. But whatever. So moving on, number 4. Homefront the Revolution has been announced. Deep Silver announced it, that it's currently in development and will be released in 2015 on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It's the sequel to the 2011 hit game Homefront, and it's going to be developed by a new studio due to the closure of THQ and Chaos Studios. The Revolution is being developed by Crytek UK, who previously worked on Time Splitters. The story will take place 4 years after the original, where the Korean People's Army, or the KPA, is still in control of the United States. The revolution is set in Philadelphia, where the revolution begins. The revolution, as in the title, is set in Philadelphia, where a revolution begins, as the title suggests. Okay, there we go. And you will play as Ethan Brady, a normal dude who joins the resistance. It's described as an open-world FPS that utilizes guerrilla warfare to fight back against the KPA rule. Players will be able to craft their own gun using 4 customizable sections: the scope, grip, barrel, and conversion. So to me, it kind of sounds like Borderlands in the open-world FPS type sphere, because we haven't seen a whole lot of those open-world FPS games.
Yeah, I guess we haven't. No, I'm thinking about it. We have Fallout. We have Borderlands.
Yeah. Fallout. Yeah, I guess Fallout counts.
Far Cry?
Far Cry, yeah, more or less. Yeah, I guess Far Cry is probably the closest, actually. That's a good one. And actually, Crytek works on Far Cry, so that may be... That's a good comparison, sorry. Blanked on all words that started with C right there. I was like, I can't think of words. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how it works out. I looked at the pictures, they're all like concept art type stuff. It seemed like nothing, no gameplay or anything. But the game looks really, really cool. There's a cool trailer. Go watch the trailer. I really, really, really liked Homefront, the original one. The story mode or the campaign was only like 3 or 4 hours. It wasn't very long at all. But it was really, really fun. It had tight shooting. It had an interesting story premise. The best part about it, though, was that there were collectibles, kind of like in The Last of Us, where there was newspaper clippings and stuff like that all over the ground that you could just pick up in each level. And they were since the game takes place in contemporary time, the first one took place in 2012, I believe, or 2013, one or the other. There was actual newspaper articles about Kim Jong-un taking over and how he was combining North Korea and South Korea and how they were going to start invading the world and all these different things. Oh my God, what are they doing? Are they planning an attack? They're building warheads, the blah, 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 blah. And so it was just really, really cool to follow the story of how the invasion actually happened through the newspaper clippings.
Right, but you're also a big fan of alternate history, right?
Yeah, super, super fan of alternate history.
Wolfenstein and all that fun things.
I'm a apocalypse and alternate history and sci-fi fan, crazy. So this is definitely one of those games that appeals to me.
Right.
So I'm excited.
When did they announce that?
They announced it on Monday morning.
Okay, and they've been silent since?
Yep.
All right, speaking of silence, let's have a moment of silence for the PSP, which has finally been discontinued in Japan. Even though the handheld has already been discontinued in North America, the PSP has still had some hold on the Japanese markets until now. It has sold over 80 million units worldwide.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I remember when the PSP was released. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember because that's when I was fighting with people in my school about which was better, the DS or the PSP.
I remember how badly I wanted a PSP. Because, like, it's for the same argument that I make about the Vita now. I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted in a handheld device. It's got 3D graphics. It looks just like a console game. I was like, it's so cool. And, you know, like, I remember it was like, oh man, after how many years does it even say on there? No, it's probably like 10 years, something like that, maybe. So it was like 2000, 2004, 2005, somewhere in there, 2003 when it was released. And so I was like 13 or 14 or something like that when it came out. And I was, oh man, I pushed hard to get one of these. And I remember I didn't get one actually until after I had graduated high school and got into college, and I bought a used one from somebody on Craigslist. And ended up realizing that it was so lackluster. Like, it was like, this is not what I wanted at all. But then the Vita was being announced and everything, so.
Right. You're actually pretty dead on for the timeline. It came out December 2004 in Japan and 2005 elsewhere.
Yeah.
And discontinued now. So that's been just about 10 years.
Just about. Oh yeah, it was a week before their 10th birthday or something like that, or something like that. It was just before their 10th birthday. That was it.
I got a PSP. I was one of the 3 people to get a PSP Go. I'm one of those people who clearly just go out and buy dying systems. So I bought a Wii, and I got really disenfranchised with it by the last 2 years when they weren't releasing anything, and I had like given up all hope on Nintendo and sold my Wii back and picked up a PS3. I became a big PlayStation fan again because I originally had the PlayStation 1 and just kind of dropped the PS3 when it came out, and it was like $600. And after a year of college, I like really loved everything Sony, and I picked up the PSP, and I had a good time with it. I mean, I didn't get a lot of games I can remember. I think I got like Mega Man X and Patapon and just anything that got like a 9 and above, really. So I never got too burnt on it. It wasn't fantastic. I didn't see why it was any better than the DS. But I guess that's for argument.
Yeah. I mean, like when I picked up my first PSP, like I said, it was right when I got into college, and I picked up like, I don't even remember. It was like Joan d'Arc or whatever, Joan of Arc, that game. It was like a strategy RPG, and I picked up like Fate Zero, which is a JRPG type game or whatever, based off the Fate Stay Night anime, which is based off of a Fate whatever graphic novel thing or whatever, and that was kind of fun, but I didn't beat any of them. What really turned me off was the like no trophy support or anything. I was just like, I'm playing these games and like I can't prove to anyone that I ever played them. I was like, no one will ever know because it's not recorded anywhere. And so like I just ended up stopping after about like 5-6 hours on both of the games.
Right. The only game I really wanted to get into was the Third Birthday.
The Third Birthday? What's that?
That was I think the sequel or a sequel to the Parasite Eve franchise.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I totally remember.
Yeah, that was really an interesting game. I didn't play a lot of it. I didn't play a lot of the ones that came before it either, but they looked really cool. But yeah, anyway. Long live the PSP. Unfortunately, it is dying after 10 years, which is to be expected.
A tweet from Colin Moriarty just 3 minutes ago. The predictions I made on today's Podcast Beyond about Sony showing at E3 are ironclad. Just letting you know. Hashtag Colin was right. Hashtag maybe kind of. I'll be interested to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
So moving on, number 6, Batman Arkham Knight has officially been delayed until 2015.
Boo.
I am praising this. I'm like, thank God. It was previously set to be released on October 14th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, but it appears that Rocksteady needs a little more time to polish the series finale. There were no official reasons given by Rocksteady for the delay, and the delay announcement comes only a month after rumors of a delay spread like wildfire on the internet, but were ultimately denied by Rocksteady. Yeah, like I said, I'm totally okay with this. I made the point in the story that, I'm normally okay with delays just because it'll make a game better. However, this time, since it was a game that was set to be released in October, I'm even more okay with it because October is jam-packed with fucking big releases. And it's just like every game that gets delayed now, I'm just like, thank you. Thank you. My wallet and my bank account is thanking you so much because that month was going to hurt. Now it's a little less painful.
What's the big day? Is it October 7th?
I think it was 14th. I think that was the big one. But I may be wrong. Maybe it's the 5th. I don't even remember anymore.
But I'm happy with any kind of delay because it means the game will be ultimately better for it. But on the other side of Courtney, this is the time. October is the time of year when I get money because I'm in school and I get loans, and I'm really bad with my loans and spend it on stuff other than school expenses. So
okay, it was the 7th. Actually, was the day. Got
it.
Which was okay, but yeah, the loans and money and I get that too, but I have to. I did last year as well, but I spent it all on video games, and now I'm in this spot where I am, where previously I didn't spend it all on video games, and I put it all towards rent and stuff, and so I was a little better about it. But now I'm really broke, and it's not good. But yeah, so right now October is set for Alien Isolation on October 7th, Dragon Age Inquisition on October 7th, Drive Club on October 7th, Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor on October 7th. So that's 4 games on October 7th.
Big games, not small DLC games.
Yeah, and then for the majority of casual fans, also we're going to be getting NBA 2K15 on October 7th. And then The Evil Within on October 21st, and then Evolve on October 21st. And then previously it was Arkham Knight, also the same on the 14th. So that's oh man, I am so overwhelmed with the games that are coming out starting in August, because that's when Exilia 2 comes out, and I'm stoked for that.
Right.
Okay. So yeah.
All right. So moving on, item number 7. A Mushroom Kingdom stage has been revealed for Super Smash Bros. In a Miiverse post, Super Smash Bros. Game director Masahiro. Sakurai. Sakurai was right. It's just my New York accent.
Go ahead.
Revealed screenshots and a bit of information regarding a new stage for the Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. In the screen, Sakurai laid out a description of the stage as Mushroom Kingdom U. It brings to life the worlds of a new Super Mario Bros. U. Sakurai went on to say, when Kamek casts a spell, the stage transforms drastically. Kamek, a wizard-like boss in the Mario games, was an antagonist in New Super Mario Bros. U. Presumably, this gives the developers the opportunity to have the stage cover some of the many different worlds in New Super Mario Bros. U, using established story elements.
That's pretty... Okay, so I'm a huge Super Smash Bros. Fan, and the more levels you have, honestly, the better. I as much as I love perfecting a level, becoming a master at one level or one character, I also like to get in with a bunch of friends and then randomize everything and just go at it, And so the more levels, the better, and especially if you're bringing in newer games and stuff like that.
Right. One of my main complaints about Mario Kart 8 is the lack of levels. And I think that they're possibly doing that to patch in some DLC for it. But the more stages they make for Super Smash Bros., the happier I'll be. There's never an issue where there's too much variety. That's probably not true, but in Super Smash Bros., there's not an issue about too much variety.
True. Okay. So did you get to look at the screenshots or whatever?
I did not get to look at the screenshots.
You are no longer the Nintendo Ninja.
Wait, I'm going to do it right now. I think we have an article about it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, no, okay. Sonic Boom. Getting to that eventually.
Boom! Kill
Oh, here it is. Got it. Wow, this one, we're doing a lot of news lately. Okay, yeah, that looks exactly like Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
That is, in my mind, that's how it looked like.
Okay, cool. So, does it look fun?
It does look fun. I really enjoyed that game. It's kind of derivative of every Mario game, just like how every Mario game is derivative of every Mario game. But it was a good game, and it kept me really happy for the time I spent playing it, especially because I hadn't played one of those new series games in a while. I didn't even play the one on DS, which everyone and their mother had. So
the mother.
So yeah, I'll be excited to play it. It looks like a good stage. It looks kind of like Final Destination-y, actually.
Ooh.
Not Final Destination, just generally like it's a flat stage with some transformations.
Okay. I was thinking Final Destination, the movies. And I was like, I was like, I don't know how you're making that connection, but okay, sorry. So speaking of fighting games, Mortal Kombat X. Is that 10 or X? I don't even know.
10. It's
10? Are we sure? Are we sure?
Because the last one was supposed to be 9, and they just made it Mortal Kombat.
Okay, because there's
kind of like how Final Destination, like they just skip numbers randomly.
Well, I was gonna say Final Fantasy X, how it's like Final Fantasy X, and how a lot of people thought it was X at first instead of 10. So Mortal Kombat 10 has been announced. Yeah. NetherRealm Studios unveiled Mortal Kombat 10 in a trailer that isn't confirmed to be gameplay, but the game is known to be cross-gen. The game will allow for players to change aspects of certain characters to better fit individual styles of play. The story will be an original story and will follow old favorites like Scorpion and Sub-Zero while introducing new characters as well. I watched the trailer, and damn, if that is gameplay, it is pretty. It is really pretty. If it's not gameplay, then it's still likely to be pretty, but damn, that trailer was pretty. So I recommend everybody go check it out. I'm not a fighting game fan. Just like I'm not a racing fan, but I am a Mario Kart fan. I am not a fighting game fan, but I am a Super Smash Bros. Fan. So, like, yeah, this doesn't really appeal to me. I remember playing the Mortal Kombat games way, way, way back, like in the 90s. So, and I remember I was always Sub-Zero just because I liked water and ice and stuff, and so like I liked freezing the ground in front of people. But I was horrible at the game. I only ever played against my brother, and so like I could kick his ass, but when I would try to play anything else or anybody else, I would get my ass kicked. So yeah, I'm not really a fan. Have you ever played any?
Yeah, I mean it came out on the Super Nintendo. I played it there, and I've played it through the years. I'm not good at it.
I'm not either. Horrible.
Right, I'm good against my friends who are also very bad at it, but I could never get the finishers. I could never get anything.
I could never finish out how to get the finishers. Like I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what am I supposed to do?
And it applies through the board for most fighting games. I was like it for was it
Injustice Gods Among Us?
Yeah, Injustice Gods Among Us. I tried playing that with friends and thoroughly got my ass whipped. And it was a drinking game, so I was trashed that night. But I latch onto certain games. Maybe this is one of them. I latched onto Killer Instinct when I played it, and if I get an Xbox One, that's probably going to be my first game I get. Yeah, judge me more.
I'm not going to say anything. There are so many games you could get on Xbox One that would be better than Killer Instinct, and you go for that. Okay.
Like what? Wait.
I'm just going to silence myself. Well, it's more of preference, obviously. I'm not a fighting game fan, so I would go for something like Titanfall or Dead Rising or what was it? Rise, Son of Rome, or it's like any of those games I would pick way, way before I would pick Killer Instinct.
All right, fair enough. I was trying to think of like Xbox One exclusives that I would pick before. Killer Instinct.
Dead Rising. Rise.
Maybe Dead Rising.
Dead Rising seems fun.
That does seem like a lot of fun. And eventually when Sunset Overdrive comes out...
Oh, yeah.
that's going to be my first choice. But until that comes out, Killer Instinct.
Until that comes out. Okay, so moving on. This is you.
Oh, this is me. You're right. The Wii U 5.0.0 U update is now available. The new features include the Quick Start menu, which was talked about in the Nintendo's financial briefing earlier this January, where you could press the power button on the gamepad, and you can choose to go into the traditional menu, or you could just start up the last previous game that you played, which is perfect because most people who play Nintendo consoles normally only play one game at a time, and it's the one game that they've made within the last 3 months. There's also a few new features added around. There's going to be Wii U gamepad alerts, special notifications from Nintendo, which can be displayed on the gamepad when the Wii U is powered down. Users will be notified with an audio tone when a new gamepad alert is displayed, and the gamepad alerts have been received can also be viewed in the Quick Start menu. There's been a change to the standby functions. System updates will now automatically install after downloading when the Wii U is in standby. Some changes to the Wii U menu include user settings screen now displays when users select their username from the Wii U menu, and the design and layout have been updated here or there. It's just kind of technical issues here and there and improvements to system stability. The real big thing was that Quick Start menu, and while I haven't updated my Wii U yet, I'm excited to try it because that's the worst part about starting up the Wii U, is sitting there and waiting for the minute for me to start the game, compared to the PS4 where I just started up, it goes on instantly, and I could just jump into a game pretty quickly.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I like the whole boot up the game that was last on or whatever really quickly thing. I wish all consoles were able to do it. God, what was it?
Infamous.
No, not so much. I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, I know how Infamous, no start menu thing. But I was trying to think way back when old consoles, when they didn't have a home screen type thing. So the beginning, PlayStation 1 and the beginning of the PlayStation 2 life cycle, where you didn't
they did. They just, I think they weren't the default, right?
No, the PlayStation 1 immediately booted up the game.
Oh, yeah, it's if you did it without the disc.
Yeah, if you did it with a disc, it wouldn't. And then that was the same way with the PlayStation 2. Was if you had the disc tray open or no disc in it, it would go to the home screen thing. But if you just had the game in, it immediately booted it up. Which was the same, I believe, with the beginning of the Xbox 360 life cycle as well. I think it also, if you had a game disc in there when you turned it on, I think it would also boot it up. I'm not really sure, but I thought they patched that out eventually. Or not patched it out, but made it optional to where you didn't have to boot up the game that was already in it or whatever. But I don't know. I don't remember. It's been too long, honestly. But yeah, so that's cool. And I like your little jab at not very many Nintendo games.
I mean, that's just the truth.
It is the truth, but that was good. That was a good one. So yeah. Next, PlayStation Plus is changing. The PlayStation blog revealed that the Instant Game Collection will have 2 PlayStation 4 games, 2 PlayStation 3 games, and 2 PlayStation Vita games starting in June, which is now June, if you guys didn't know. Heads up,
1 second.
Heads up, it's June.
1 second. How does that differ from what it now is?
There was only one PlayStation 4 game previously.
Okay.
And then I think there were several PlayStation 3 games. Every once in a while there would be 3 or 4 come out in a month, I believe. And then I think it was the same way with Vita. There could be one during 1 month, or there could be 2 or 3. So I think this is setting it in, locked in. Every month there are going to be 2 of each. I think that's what it's saying. And then that also adds to the second part of the story, where starting in July, when these games will become available on the first Tuesday of the month. And then on the first Tuesday of the following month, they will be taken off and the new games will be brought on. So it's not going to be like it used to be, where there would be a game come on, say a game come on in March, and then it doesn't disappear until July. Like, that's not going to happen anymore. If a game comes on in March, it's going to disappear by April. And so that's how it's going to be each month going forward now for PlayStation Plus, which there were questions about that we were having in our group chat, the Middle of Nowhere Gaming group chat, where we were talking about, is this going to take away like the yearly titles, like Uncharted Golden Abyss, and what was the other ones? I don't even remember. There was those 3 games. There was one for each console or whatever. Resogun.
I'm looking it up right now.
The PlayStation 4 one, Uncharted 3, and Uncharted Golden Abyss, I think. I think those were the ones.
PlayStation.
Or no, Gravity Rush. Gravity Rush, Uncharted 3, and Resogun. Those games were up there, and they were going to be up there for like an entire year or something, and they would never go down with the monthly games. And so now there's question on whether or not that's going to disappear. Are we going to still have a yearly game for the PlayStation Plus Instant Game Collection, or are we going to only have monthly games going forward? The point I was making in the chat was that I'm okay with monthly, honestly. If it means we're getting more free games, then yeah. If we're getting 2 PS4 games every single month, I'm totally okay with that. Rather than trying to keep one PlayStation 3 game and one Vita game up there for an entire year, give us new games each month. That seems better, like a better deal, a better $60 spent, in my opinion, or $50 spent. Right.
I'd agree. I would. I just canceled my PlayStation Plus.
When was it set to renew? Or were you paying monthly?
I was paying 3 monthly, so I'm letting it lapse out, and then I'm gonna start paying it by the year.
There you go.
They've built enough, because I bought it last year when Last of Us came out, because I wanted to play online. That was the first game I ever really played online for. Actually, they had online then, but they had all those announcements saying that you need PlayStation Plus to play online for PS4, and I was like, well, I plan on getting that. Let me test it out and see how I like it. And I really enjoyed it, and I just never actually went in and switched it from being 3 months to a full year. And Sony's gained my trust with PlayStation Plus, and I really enjoy the service, so I'm willing to put down for a full year.
There's somebody screaming a foreign language in the hallway.
Lucky you.
I don't know what they're saying, obviously. Whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to see like what July and August will bring to PlayStation 4's catalog, because like this month, June is gonna have Trine 2, and what was the other game? Balls. I don't even remember. But anyways, yeah. So not great games this month, but pretty good games, solid games. It'll be really interesting to see if we're gonna only get like indie games from now on for the next several months, or if we're gonna start seeing games like maybe Knack. What if Knack is the July game?
I would love to get Knack. It's been on my like to get list for a while, and if they could like beat me to it, that'd be great.
See, because the reason I think it's going to be Knack within the next 2 or 3 months is because Knack wasn't extremely popular out of release. The casual gamers, normal gaming friends or people, liked Knack much better than it scored critically with all the websites. And then you add on the fact that it was released for free with every Japanese PlayStation 4. It came with every one of them, so they might be like, okay, you know what? We should also do something similar to that in the US and Europe and just put it on PlayStation Plus for a month. So that could end up being the case. And especially if they announce a Knack 2. That could be an E3 announcement.
Right.
Hey, Knack 2 coming spring next year, but guess what? July, you can get Knack for free on PlayStation Plus.
I can only hope.
That could happen.
Because do you know what? I love seeing those kind of big like franchise characters, and I think Sony needs a new one.
I do too, and I loved Knack. Knack I adored. It was frustratingly difficult every once in a while, but overall it was an adorable story with an adorable character, and it was just fun gameplay. It reminded me so much of Crash Bandicoot, and so like I really liked it. I'm hoping it gets turned into a franchise at least every few years. Get another release in the series. But yeah. So, anyways, last one.
Yeah. Let me just get up to it. Sonic Boom has a release date, and it's been revealed.
Boom! Sorry.
I'm going to do that now.
We're going to do that.
So beware. According to a press release, Sonic Boom!
Boom!
is to be released this November in North America and Europe for both the Wii U and the 3DS versions of the game. The Wii U version, called Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, will play... I prepared myself for that. I was expecting a boom.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at Rise of Lyric, and I was like, that's kind of a weird name. Boom! There we go.
Oh, God. I wasn't expecting it there. All right. Rise of Lyric will play like an action-adventure game where players will focus on the strengths of the individual playable characters, Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles. Rise of Lyric will also be the first game on the Wii U console to run the Crytek engine.
That's exciting.
The 3DS version of Sonic Boom will be called Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, and will focus on a new playable character called Styx. In Shattered Crystal, Styx will rescue Amy from Lyric in a more platforming and puzzle-centric game. Certain unlockables from Shattered Crystal will also unlock items in Rise of Lyric.
Styx looks stupid, by the way.
Why do you think Styx looks stupid?
Did you see the picture of Styx?
Does she look kind of Australian a bit?
Yeah, like... I'm gonna pull up the picture again. I gotta see it again. Where's the boom? Boom! Okay.
You know what's the weird thing about this?
There's Styx. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, go on.
The title of it is that it gets a release date. However, we have not mentioned a release date.
Yeah, you did. You said November.
Oh, that's not a release date. It's a release month.
Well, still. Yeah, so it looks Australian. Looks like Hey Arnold with a football head, mixed with Crash Bandicoot maybe because of the orange colors. And then has a boomerang. And
is that all her face, or is that like hair?
I think that's hair.
Can we make it her face? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like just a giant boomerang face.
Kind of looks like, yeah, it's a boomerang face. Kind of looks like Hey Arnold, like I think. I don't know. Looks stupid. I don't like Styx, but maybe the character will be able to win me over, like the voice and acting and stuff. Maybe Styx will be a good character, but right now,
to be fair,
looks stupid.
Knuckles also looks really stupid.
Well, all the new versions of the Sonic characters look stupid.
I don't know. I like Sonic's scarf.
You like you like his Uncharted scarf?
His Drake scarf.
They're like, okay, what's the most popular character on PlayStation that we can copy? Oh, it's Drake. It's totally Drake. Okay, we're giving Sonic a scarf.
My question is, how doesn't that fly off when he's running?
Well, it's tied around his neck, so I mean, it's not just like hanging there. It's circled.
Well, yeah, but what if he runs too close to a branch? It's just suddenly a noose.
Oh man!
I mean, to be fair, someone should have put Sonic out of his misery like years ago. But
wait. So here is Tails Sully? Huh? Look at him.
Oh,
Look at him. Is he Sully?
He is.
He's Sully! Yes! Sonic Boom is the next Uncharted. Oh, man.
That's really where Amy Hennig went.
I'm so excited now. Oh, man. Too excited for this. So, yeah. Are you going to pick up Sonic?
I didn't pick up the last one, so probably not. If it gets good reviews, then I might.
Well, maybe we can get a review copy for you.
Oh, that'd be awesome if I could get a review copy.
Yeah,
because
cool.
there was a point in my life where I loved Sonic.
It
wasn't the point where everyone loved Sonic, like back on the Sega Genesis. I really hated those games, but I really loved Sonic Adventures and Sonic Adventures 2 on the GameCube.
Oh, me too. My favorite Sonic games ever.
When they say action adventure, if they're talking Sonic Adventures 2 style, I will love the hell out of this game if they do it right.
Yeah, those are the only Sonic games I've ever really, really, really liked. Like, the original Sonic games were fun, but they're so dated now. I'm
not twitchy enough. I can't do it. I wasn't twitchy enough back then.
It's just I'm more about the action adventure one, and so if it's anything like Adventure or Adventure 2, dude, count me in. And if it's got like Chow raising again, oh yeah.
That's perfect for like the Wii U screen.
I would totally buy a Wii U immediately if it had Chow raising. That would be the breaking point. That would be the breaking point. I would risk no rent the next month if it had Chow raising. It's like, what? I can raise a little baby animal thing? Creature, monster, alien? Of course I'm buying it. Yes. Good times. So, unfortunately, we don't have any listener questions this week. So instead, we're going to shoot questions at each other from each other, huh? No?
No.
We're not doing that?
No. We're going to do that. We have a QTE after that. That's where we'll be firing our questions.
So
there was a lot of big news this week. I think we can miss out, and we're going to have a lot of big news next week.
For sure. So, before we wrap up, make sure, again, check out the QTE on Friday. But, okay, so game releases this week. Not a lot of games. I mean, on the surface, there are kind of a lot of games, but they're not like huge damn games or anything like that. So on the Sony family consoles, PlayStation 3 has Murdered Soul Suspect, which came out today, yesterday for you guys if you're listening on Wednesday. Murdered Soul Suspect also came out on PlayStation 4, along with Worms Battlegrounds. And how do you even pronounce that? Is it Aben?
I don't even want to try.
Like, I didn't even know that game was coming out because it wasn't on Metacritic or anything.
Is that a name?
Yeah. It's Aben or Aben, whatever, something A. Hawkins.
Whenever they say it, they've just said 1001 Spikes.
Yeah, I've only heard 1001 Spikes. And so it's whatever Hawkins and the 1001 Spikes. And that comes out on PlayStation 4 and also on PlayStation Vita. And then also on Vita, you have Hyperdimension Neptunia PP, which is producing perfection, and PlayStation Vita Pets, which I saw a member of Podcast Beyond's Facebook page just bought it off a whim for some reason. I don't know why. Like, he just was like, don't know if this game's any good. Don't even know why I bought it, but I did. I was like, what? Why would you? What? Why? I don't
Hopefully
get it.
It's like a $10 game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if it's $60, oh man. But yeah,
let's see. What's the pulse on Murdered Soul Suspect? Are you even?
I'm gonna
curious?
play it. I'm gonna play it.
What is it? I really haven't heard much.
Landon's gonna review it. It's a Square Enix game. It's about a detective.
A murdered soul suspect.
Yeah, detective that gets murdered, and then he's a ghost. And he's trying to figure out who killed him, and so like he can like possess people and stuff like that. Like he can possess a fucking cat, and like I don't know, it looks weird as fuck.
That sounds like the rumored Wii U game, like before it came out. I don't know if you remember it, but they said that there was going to be like a haunted ship game where there was a cruise ship and you were just a ghost on it and you just went around and like messed with people, which sounded like a fantastic premise to a game. For me.
Yeah, I remember that one. But yeah, I don't know. The premise sounds cool for this game, but from what I gathered, a lot of critics dislike it or think it has a lot of good ideas, but it just wasn't, nailing everything or wasn't coming together the right way. But you know what? They say that about basically every game. So we'll see what everybody has to say, like the normal gamers have to say after this week whenever they start all playing it. I won't be able to play it until probably next week or the week after because I have to finish up some stuff for Watch Dogs and then play Drakengard this weekend. But I'm kind of excited to play it. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
And then let's see. You want to cover PC and then Nintendo, and I'll cover the other Microsoft stuff since it's really short?
Sure.
So then on Xbox 360, you also have Murdered Soul Suspect. And then on Xbox One, you have Murdered Soul Suspect and Worms Battlegrounds, just like PlayStation 4.
Okay. So following up, we have on the PC, WildStar, Murdered Soul Suspect, Kriya, EVE Online, Chronos, Abon Hawkins and the 1001 Spikes, Noir Syndrome, Epoch, Lifeless Planet, Close Combat, Gateway to Kane,
I think.
We'll say Kane. Crimson Clover, World Ignition, all caps. Make sure if you search it, all caps.
All caps.
All right. Ion Ball 2, Ion Storm, and Concursion. On the Wii U, we have 1001 Spikes. I've Got to Run. Chubbins, and I put 1001 Spikes again because I didn't see it the first time. And then we have 1001 Spikes on 3DS. That's literally coming out on everything. And Tamagotchi Life, which has been getting a lot of news lately.
Yep. So that wraps up episode 36 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming podcast.
Woo!
Remember, we are switching up our schedule. We now record the MONG podcast on Tuesdays and release it on Wednesdays. So you can find our official schedule as Monday, QTE, Wednesday, MONG podcast, and Friday, QTE. So that's how it'll be every week. And you can email us at mong.podcast@gmail.com. You can find our Twitter account at mongpodcast. You can also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/mongpodcast. And then you can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram, just searching our names. And then make sure to check out the website, middleofnowheregaming.com, for all of the latest editorials, news, and reviews. It was a good week, Lou. It was a good week.
Yeah.
You can find
what's new on the website? Let's talk about this.
Oh, okay.
Interesting things.
Lots of things. Let's see. We had Brett had his sequels he wants to see at E3 come up.
That's cool.
We spotlighted Dustin as our editor spotlight this week. The review for Watch Dogs is live. Let's see. Anything else big?
I'm going to be posting my review tomorrow for Mario Kart.
Ooh. And then the first episode of QuickTime Event went up on Monday. That's good. Good week so far. We've got a lot of good stuff. Got a lot of good. So anyways, you can find us both on Twitter. You can find me at Osborne_2009. You can find Lou at
Lou Cataldi.
Lou Cataldi sucks. I mean,
no, that got taken down. Don't look that up.
That did get taken down. There needs to be a better one, like fake Lou Cataldi. I don't think that would get taken down. It's not as mean and derogative or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So, thank you. What?
I think I should have gotten a celebrity account. I should have gotten that little check mark by my name after the Lou Cataldi sucks, because it takes a lot to be parodied.
I know how to get check marks, by the way. We could totally do it. You want to do it?
I think that they only do that for big people. I think you have to be invited to it.
Oh, I'm totally big enough to do it.
All right, go for it.
I got this. So, thank you all for listening, and we will talk to you again next week. Mong!
Bye. Mong!
Mong!